Hey guys, good morning. I want to have a moment of truth with you guys. And if you're new here, my name is Jasmine and welcome to my channel. So, one thing that I have always struggled with for years is giving people the benefit of the doubt and letting go. It's like I always try to see the good in someone, even when they're constantly showing me that they're not a good person or that we just don't align, right? Even through like constant disrespect or being called out of my name or, just anything. I always struggled with that. And I think even to this day I struggle with it. I think it's because, and again, feel free to comment. This is just me speaking my mind and just, letting you guys know things that I have gone through or am experiencing. But I think for me, I think the reason why I struggle with letting them go is because that's also me letting a version of me go that no longer exists. And, I think that I experienced a lot of this when I first started my entrepreneurial journey. So 4 years ago, like literally the few friends that I had in my life, they were literally like falling off left and right. Like I went through a period where like things would just like go wrong in what I thought were friendships at the time. And even despite things going wrong, maybe we had like an argument, a disagreement, whatever, I would still try to hold on to it. I would still try to reason with them, even though they had already shown me signs of disrespect, even prior to the altercation that pretty much made us stop talking to each other. And I think it's because I struggle with understanding that I'm no longer that person that I was in the friendship. And that means I have to let not only them go, but I have to let that version of myself go. I'm constantly evolving. I am constantly working on myself, trying to gain clarity, trying to be the best version of myself that I can possibly be every single day. And I live by that. And some days are better than others, yes. But I would say that I am consistently trying to level up. I don't want to be the person that, used to curse people out or used to name call or used to not be able to be in control of my emotions, used to result to drinking alcohol or overeating. I used to never take care of my body. I used to never work out. I just was not a good person to myself or to others. And for the past 4 years of being on my entrepreneurial journey, being by myself, I also started working on my mental health. And I have come such a long, long way, you guys. I have come such a long way. And I'm so proud of myself for how far I've come. And even though a lot of things about myself have changed, I still to this day notice things that might have improved a little bit, but things that I still struggle with. And I think that letting people go when they no longer serve me, I think that is the hardest part. Because any friendship or relationship that I have, I try my best to pour into that person, be that person to support them, cheer them on, provide any type of knowledge that I have, just really be that good friend, that listening ear. But yet, sometimes in life, those things aren't reciprocated back to you. And then you may find yourself making excuses for it. You may find yourself doing more for them than what they do for you. Ultimately, you may find yourself being used. And then you try to reason with yourself, like, no, no, they're not using me, or, they're not trying to take advantage of me. I think we've all experienced that at some point. And you just try to continue to give someone the benefit of the doubt. But as you sit there and you start to think about and analyze everything, you start to realize they're getting way more out of you than what you're getting out of them. It's not an equally yoked friendship. And with that being known, sometimes it's still a struggle to let it go because you start to second guess, well, you know, maybe they don't know that they're doing it. They know. Maybe they're going to change. They're not going to change. Maybe you're overthinking. You're not overthinking. You just start to negotiate with yourself about what's really going on. And you start to realize that you're not okay with that. But the longer you pretend with yourself that you are, and the longer you pretend like it's all good or you're not tripping, the longer you're being untrue to yourself, because you do care and it's not okay and you are tripping, as you should. And so then you have like this internal battle going on, because it's like, I know I deserve better. I know I shouldn't be treated like this. Yet they keep treating me like this, even though they tell me they're not going to do it anymore. And you want to believe them, but time and time again, when you believe them, they still show you they're the exact same way they were when you met them. Nothing changed. You changed, or I changed. Now I can see through the bullshit. Now I can stand up for myself. Now I know I deserve to be treated better, right? And so that's what I'm saying. I feel like sometimes when you're letting people go, it's because you also have to let go of the version of yourself that no longer fits into that relationship. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know that you should let it go, but it's just so hard sometimes, because you know that that person who you used to be, who was okay with things not being reciprocated, or who was okay with being used in a sense. And when I say being okay with it, I think more or less just, I guess it is like being okay with being used. You just kind of, you don't have the backbone to stand up for yourself, right? But that version of you no longer exists. Now you are demanding better treatment. You are demanding reciprocity. You are demanding respect. And when those people are still not willing to give you that, like I said, you have like an internal battle with yourself. And I have experienced that multiple times. And I don't have an answer for how it gets easier. I think for me, one thing that I try to do in those situations is just list out, how do you feel when you're not dealing with them or that environment, versus how do you feel when you are, right? And I've found that when you're more at peace, when you're happier, when you're vibrating higher, when you're more positive without them versus when you're with them, that's your answer. That's your answer. And I think sometimes we may be afraid to be alone. I think we all want friendships. I've talked to you guys about how I'm isolated, and I've gotten a lot done. I'm very proud of how far I've come with everything that I've tried to do. And I would say that I have had more success by not having friends than by having them. But I think that would also be a lie if I told you guys that I didn't yearn for friendships from time to time. And, I think sometimes when you're in that space where you don't have a lot of close relationships with people, and you do crave that, you may end up choosing to be in friendships and or relationships with people who don't serve you, because you're just looking to have that void filled of friendship, right? And that's why I talk about the importance of finding your purpose. I think that because I do know what my purpose is, and because I do wake up every single day ready to create, it allows me to still feel fulfilled, even when I spend a lot of time by myself. I think that when you don't have that, when you don't really know your calling, when you're not on a self-development journey. At least for myself, I noticed that when I wasn't focused on pouring into myself and making myself a better woman, and I was in those situations, I would spend more energy trying to make those situations work, but that's because I didn't have anything else during the day to fill my time, right? But now that I have things that I'm excited about, that I love to do, I'm not as needy of those friendships or relationships. But I'm not going to sit here and say that it's still not a struggle from time to time when it's time to let someone go. So if you have any feedback for me, any words of encouragement, um, feel free to leave a comment. I would love to read what you guys have to say. Do you struggle with this? Have you struggled with this? How do you... I think too, it's a matter of being able to forgive yourself for what you tolerated for so long. I think that's also one of the hardest things I've had to do when dealing with stuff like that is, even though you might have forgiven them and you're not necessarily mad at them anymore, you've accepted the fact that that's just who they are. Sometimes I would struggle with forgiving myself for even allowing myself to be in that type of friendship. Like, how dare I allow someone to talk to me like that? How dare I allow someone to call me out of my name and still continue to be friends with them like it's okay? How dare I bring down my value to fit into their box that they put me in? It's like that internal battle of trying to forgive myself for what I knew I should have never tolerated in the first place. I think that's where I struggle, and that might be ego. I'm not too sure, because I know things like this happen to everybody, right? I don't think anyone is above being used for something or being taken advantage of, having their kindness taken advantage of, letting too many things slide that shouldn't be sliding, right? So, like I said, I struggle with that. I think I still struggle with that from time to time. But, all I can do is ask God to continue to give me guidance and to help me let go so that I can move forward, so I can continue on my journeys and being the best person that I can be. All right, you guys, I'll see you later. Bye.